A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Lunchtime News, coming to you live from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Stephanie Lazarus. Let's start off with the headlines. Investigations launched into a group of suspicious individuals who arrived in the Koskoda Turtle Sanctuary. The Mahabali authority says that water will be released to 5 Mahabali zones for the Yala season. An efficient bus service to be implemented for the new year, a statement by the chairman of the NTC. Health Services Union say that strike launched by them will continue until a solution is provided. Here are stories in detail. The Mahabali authority says that water will be released to 5 Mahabali zones for the Yala season on the 21st of April.
Director General of the authority Gamini Raj Karuna said that accordingly 70% of farmland will be cultivated for the Yala season. Thereby the Mahabali B, C, H, G and Udavalava zones would be irrigated. However, the Director General noted that the Mahabali reservoirs have not received the expected rainfall, adding that measures have been taken to cultivate supplementary crops and fruit in addition to rice.
Now, the police have commenced investigations into a group of suspicious individuals who arrived at the Koskoda Turtle Sanctuary early this morning. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rona said that area residents rounded up the van and took into hostage one of the suspects. 3 of the suspects fled the scene, while 1 was subsequently taken into police custody.
A van has been taken into police custody last night in the vicinity of a turtle farm in Koskoda police area. Police has traced locally made Galkata's weapon inside the vehicle, and in addition to that, 1 suspect also arrested by the police on information provided by the villagers in the area. According to the witnesses, 4 persons have come in the vehicle and thereafter 3 have escaped. The vehicle owner has been traced by the police and he has also been taken into police custody. Further interrogations are being conducted at the moment, and the police is checking whether this vehicle has come to the turtle farm to conduct any criminal activity. Further investigations are being continued at the moment by Koskoda Police.
Now, as the New Year season ever draws closer, former chairman of the National Transport Commission, Roshan Gunawardena, says that plans are afoot to implement an efficient bus service for the public in lieu of the New Year season. He expressed these views at a media briefing last afternoon.
It is mandatory to keep both front and rear doors of buses travelling long distances closed during travel. We are hoping to operate 1,200 buses with 30 officials on duty per day. These officials will be attired in a uniform similar to this. If the public encounter problems, they could address their issues by speaking to an official in this uniform. We have displayed this sticker on all buses operating in special bus services. We have decided to provide efficient public transportation by taking these steps. This is a joint effort by the chairman of the Passenger Transport Authority and 20 transport associations in the country.
Around the world in 40 days, a 40-day goodwill tour across the globe organized by Newsfirst and Sri Lanka Youth ahead of the 2014 World Conference on Youth bid farewell to Japan and set off to Australia yesterday. We now have Ramesh Ilga Bandara joining us from Sydney.
Around the world in 40 days.
We are contacting you from Sydney, Australia. The Around the World team that is creating awareness on the World Conference on Youth 2014 arrived in Sydney, Australia a short while ago, following a 9.5-hour-long flight from the Narita International Airport in Japan. Now, the schedule for us today stands as this. We were welcomed by the Consul General's office, the Sri Lankan Consul General's office in Australia, and we are due to visit several iconic buildings within Sydney in order to familiarize ourselves with the city. Thereafter, tomorrow, we are due to meet with the youth of Australia and eminent Sri Lankan personalities residing in Sydney in order to create awareness on the World Conference of Youth, which will be held in May. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ravishrugar Bandaru with your short commentary from Sydney, Australia.
Welcome back to the news. Director General of Archaeology Dr. Senarath Dissanayake says damages have been inflicted on artifacts during the construction of a golden fence around the historic Seruvavila temple. During a media briefing held yesterday, the Commissioner revealed that legal action will be taken in this regard. Charges were levelled, citing that damage has been inflicted to artifacts of the historic Seruvavila temple following excavations that were carried out over the past few days. Now, the chairperson of the Government Family Health Services Union, Devika Koritwaku, says the strike launched by them is still continuing. She noted that although a round of discussions were held last evening with health sector officials, their grievances were not adequately addressed. The protest launched by the Midwives Association is now on its 8th day and has resulted in the suspension of maternal and child health care services. Furthermore, the services in Kandy have been suspended today owing to the strike. The government's semi-government and private trade unions collective committee engaged in a protest march last afternoon. The march was organised demanding the abolishment of the circular pertaining to the new gratuity scheme.
Protest march, which commenced opposite the Colombo Municipal Council, later headed to the Ministry of Public Administrative and Home Affairs. The protesters charged that the relevant circular issued with the signature of the Director General of the Gratuity Department under the government curtails the benefits of gratuity granted to state officials. If you may ask me if it was discussed with the trade union members to put forth this recommendation, no, it was not discussed. This circular brings many disadvantages. The gratuity is paid in 24-month installments. If the incentives of the gratuity is 500,000, only 300,000 is granted. The interest is also our money. They are planning on collecting all our money to pay the treasury. They will clearly pay this back by 2 months. This is what happened to land loans. We would like to request the government to not suppress the economy.
According to the Met Department, there may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers, and the general public are kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize the causes by lightning activities.
Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the sea areas off the coast extending from Batticaloa to Galle via Portugal and Hambantota. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the western and northwestern sea areas during the evening and night. Winds will be southeasterly or variable and speed will be 20 to 30 kilometers. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers. Generally, sea areas around the island will not be rough. However, the sea areas may be temporarily rough during thunder showers.
Well, with that, we wrap up lunchtime news. I'm Stephanie Lazarus for the Newsfirst team. Be sure to join us again at 1:55 for our Live at 55 bulletin.
Hotline 0114 896 896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.